Welcome back to All Things with Allah. I am Allah. If you are new, welcome to my channel. I cover everything, so it's definitely something you never know what you're gonna see kind of situation. And today, I am very excited to be sharing our macaron, not macaroon, but you can say macaroon, but they're different. Macaroon is that coconut ball, and then macaron are these French cookies. Um, I don't even like I don't like to call them cookies, but technically they are. So today in this video, I'm going to be doing how we bake macarons in a commercial kitchen. So this recipe, this technique that I'm doing today is basically for you who want to do it at a commercial level. So I'm showing you our steps, my recipe, baking time, everything I will cover in this video. The filling is going to be in a separate video. So today it's just baking the shells in a commercial setting kitchen. I know some of you that are watching right now might have a commercial kitchen but haven't tackled the macaron recipe. I will share with you guys, so hopefully you can do that. And then I know some of you are at home. I will do one for home as well out of my home kitchen. So then I have to tweak the recipe and the time and all that good stuff, but I will do it at home as well for you guys who want to do it at home. But this particular video is for commercial kitchen recipe. You want to try it at home? Be my guest, but I would not recommend it. I know the oven at home is a little different, the time is different, the temperature is different, all that stuff. And at the same time, this is a huge portion. So you don't want to do so much unless you do, but just letting you guys know about that. So I will not be editing this video. So prepare yourself. I'm going to do everything step by step. I hate like when I'm watching the macaron back in the day. So I'm a self-taught baker. I taught myself how to bake macarons, and I hated how like they would fast forward mixing, and it would throw me off. Like I wasn't sure, am I mixing too long? Am I mixing not long enough? So I have it down, like we time it, because I had to train so many different people coming through the bakery. I had to time it down to a science, down to the step, I should say, to a second. So I'm going to share all those steps with you on how I timed it and all that fun stuff. So today we are doing probably about 2 different ones, and then I'm also going to do snowman. So I'm excited to share with you how I do those as well. Okay, let's get started. Let's bake some macarons. You need to have egg whites at room temperature. So like these, I separated last night. I came in here because I knew I was going to do this today. So I came in here last night, I separated them, and I had them sitting out overnight. You want them at room temperature at least 4 hours. So macarons are definitely not something I can like, oh, I think I want to go make macarons kind of cookie, pastry, I don't know, baking type thing. You have to plan ahead. They have to be at room temperature. Fresh, at least 4 hours at room temperature. You definitely don't want to have egg whites. I don't recommend egg whites from from a bottle. You can buy egg whites. No, they have to be separated from the shell, like the normal egg. None of that, you know. I know it's real. I don't know. That stuff is just a no-no. I tried it. It's a fail every time. So for me, this is the best. I can only recommend and tell you what I use. You need a mixing bowl, egg whites, sugar, almond flour, powdered sugar, a strainer, a bowl that fits over your strainer. I always like to have my egg whites in something that I can pour it out. It's just easier than dumping it in there. So I always have an extra bowl that has like a lip, a timer. You want to have a timer. You can use your watch, your phone, and a very, very, very important, a scale. I do not do cups, all that stuff, only scale. So there's a lot of recipes that I like to do. It's scale only. I actually like the scale better than like cups and spoons. It's just more accurate. For me, it's easier and I don't mess up. So that's kind of my situation. What I'm going to do is I always like to have a wet towel, a dry towel here. you do need, you don't have to, but it does make everything go by quicker, a wooden spoon. But as some of you might know, we are in the midst of selling inventory and I don't have a wooden spoon here, at least not that I could find. And I didn't bring one from home. So we're just gonna have to make do. We'll figure something out. But so we're gonna take our egg whites and just, I'm gonna dump them in there. And then move this out of my way. And then we're gonna put, I will post the recipe for this particular recipe that I'm doing. Again, this is for commercial. I will post the recipe in the description. So you guys will have that. So we're gonna do 280 grams of egg whites and then 280 grams of granulated sugar. So we're gonna go to grams here. Come on. Grams. Okay, so it's 280. Yeah, just a little bit. Come on. So I'm at 287, which is fine. You can play with it 10 up, 10 down. Just remember, you're going to add a little bit more of your almond flour and powdered sugar as well. We're going to press tare. That's going to bring it down to 0 again. And we're going to add our granulated sugar. Everything in one bowl. So 280 grams of sugar. Well, 287 because I did 287 of my egg whites. $288. Take some out. Okay. Move that out of the way. This is going to go on our mixing bowl for, let me tell you exactly the time. So it's going to go, looking, 5 minutes. While this is mixing for 5 minutes, I like to sift my powdered sugar and almond flour. I get this almond flour at Costco. I absolutely love it. Highly recommend it. This is what we've been baking for probably 5 years. So I can definitely recommend this one. And I cannot say anything else about any other ones, but I'm sure they're good. But this one is what we use and I really like it. And I think it's a good price. Like, I'm shocked that there's something that price dropped on, you guys. So I went to the store to get some more because obviously we didn't have any. And we were paying like, I think it was $12.99. And yesterday I got this at $9.99. I was pleasantly surprised because like it's 2023. Prices, everything is through the roof. Nothing goes down. But this actually went down. I was very surprised. Okay, enough of my talking. So I do set a timer when I know I'm going to be like walking around doing another thing, multitasking. And I think I would recommend for you to set a timer just so you know what it's supposed to look like. So we're going to set a timer for 5 minutes. And then I didn't start the timer yet because I wanted to, it's going to get really loud. It'll be hard to hear. While that's mixing, I put my bowl right on my scale and I'm going to dump in here 375 grams of powdered sugar and 375 grams of almond flour. And then I dump it right in the thing and I sift it and then it's good to go. So I'm not going to talk because this is going to be mixing. I might try to say something because I can't help myself. All right, so we're going to turn this on and start our timer. I like to put the powdered sugar first and then the almond flour. Had a little bit left, so I'm just pushing it down with my spoon. Okay, that is all mixed in. This is what we want. Like I said, 5 minutes on a high, you will not go wrong. I'm gonna save this for the next flavor, so I don't have to like wash it, but we're doing more flavors than that. So let me move you guys. Oi, okay. Where you can see better on how I'm mixing. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna time it on my phone to see how long I mix it for, so you guys can time it as well. Stopwatch, and nope, we're not starting yet. Okay, so I always pour my dry ingredients into my wet ingredients. Just the whole thing. This is going to be a workout, and you got to go slow in the beginning so not everything is flying out. Okay, that goes to the side. I like to mix on here so that, I don't know, that's how I always did it. I always put it over a towel so I'm not making a mess. And sometimes I even use a damp towel so that it's like stays that way. Okay, so we dumped everything in. We're gonna start mixing. I start the timer. Making sure you can see. Okay. So I am just moving it in the center. My spatula is all the way at the bottom. I wanted to show you, this is the only one I use, I recommend, I love. No, I'm not a Pamper Chef consultant or anything like that, but I got these when I was a Pamper Chef consultant many, many, many years ago, and I've used these for probably, you guys, no joke, probably 12 years, the same exact ones, and I would recommend anything else, and I only use those. Okay, we're wasting time because we're timing this, but I think they just work so well. So I would highly recommend them. I'm going to try to figure out how I can link it on the bottom so that you guys can have it if you want to order it for yourself. But I'll do that through a good friend of mine. And you guys can order it through her. But anyway, so we're mixing it. We're just churning. So I'm just doing this, like this. Until I combine all of it, and then I'm mixing, churning in my bowl so that the stuff that's on the edge can kind of fall in. You definitely want to go slow so you're not losing a lot of your ingredients. You want to keep it all in there. Again, this is a workout. This is a big portion. This is what I'm doing the whole entire time. This is it. We're not doing this. Right now, we're just doing this. That's what I like about this is it has this nice edge, but then it has the scoop. So my stuff stays in the middle, but then I use the scoop to get it all out. I always have a spoon next to me as well, and I'll scrape this down right before I finish because there's a lot of batter that's not mixed in well on the spoon. If you're doing texturing, like macarons that you want to look like roses or this or that, this is a good time to finish up. But if you're doing regular macarons, you just keep going. Texturing, you want it not to be mixed really all the way. But you want to get it all, see the bottom? It's not mixed yet. So you want to make sure you're pushing really hard and getting it on the bottom. So now I'm going to scrape it this way. A little bit more. Churning it the whole entire time. That's all I do is I'm churning it. And then I break it down the middle. Churn it, and then break it down the middle. This is about done. I know some people are like, they look at that ribbon. I don't. So we are at 4 minutes and 10 seconds about. I think we should say 4 minutes because I did waste some time talking. So this is done. 4 minutes. It took me 4 minutes to mix this in. Okay, I put that down and I have a bigger one and I don't know where it is, but I usually use a bigger one. I think I might have to go find it. The tip that I use is a Wilton's 2A. This one is what I use for regular macarons, but when I'm doing like snowman or unicorns, I do use a smaller tip. But for regular macarons, this is the tip. Just scrape this off. So we mixed it. We beated the egg whites and the sugar for 5 minutes, and then we mixed it for 4 minutes. Mine's not runny. I don't like them very runny. I know a lot of times they're like, oh, you wanted to do the ribbon. No, I don't do that. When I do, they spread out and there's no feet and they look, I don't like the way they look. I'm gonna put you back a little bit. There we go. All right. I don't know if this is going to work because this is smaller, but we'll see. I'm just scraping all of it out. Okay. Don't go over. Okay. Saved. Okay. Every little bit counts. So make sure you don't leave a whole bunch on your spatula or inside your bowl. Very clean. Now this bowl is going to go to get washed. I will not remix another batch in there because the egg whites, they have to mix by itself. So this will just go to the dishes. But I will save this and mix it with that. Save yourself some time on dishes. Okay, I'm going to put a clip on this. And we are ready to make some macarons. I was going to do pistachio, so I was going to add color, but I forgot. All right, we're going to move you guys to the station where we pipe out. Okay. Sorry for all the moving around, but I said I'm not going to edit. I meant it. I'm not going to edit. Okay. My cooling rack. Now here's what I do at home. I did this at home. I am a self-taught macaron baker. I taught myself how to bake macarons let's see, probably 10 years ago. Yes, so I've been baking macarons for 10 years. That's a long time. And I am always in a hurry. If you guys watch my videos, you know I'm always in a hurry. I never have time. And what I figured that the best, I don't remember where I saw this trick, but I know I didn't think of this, but I saw this trick somewhere to let a fan go across your macarons when they dry. So then I thought of how can I implement that in our macaron kitchen here at the tea room, because we were doing so many, but we didn't have time for them to dry. So I got this handy dandy huge fan. Love it. And we turn it on a medium, and the fan is like placed in the middle, and it works like magic. It's like it cuts half the time, you guys, like half the time. So I had like a little one, it wasn't working. So you definitely, if you're doing this on a cooling rack like this, you want to have that's nice and long, so you're drying at least 4 or 5 at the same time. Okay, so we have our tray here and our macaron sheets. I will link this. I got these sheets many, many years ago on Amazon, but it was quite a while. Okay, so basically we're just gonna put it down and gently squeeze. You want to have it flat, not around, not anything like that. Just like that. And this is gently. Gently squeeze, and then I just do like a little loop. All right, for the next batch, I'm going to try to move you closer so you guys can see even better. I don't want to get my table a little dirty. Yes, we tap them. I like to do 5 on each side, so 5, 5, 5. And that's it. Now, if I were to put sprinkles on top, which I'm going, you definitely want to put your sprinkles on before you tap. Put you in here a little bit closer. Like that. I normally, when we did our almond wedding cake in the past, we just did white sprinkles, but I'm out of white sprinkles, so we use what we have. And I don't know, these kind of reminded me of a wedding. Can't grab a bunch because the little thing is so small. Now, not all sprinkles, oh no, I spilled them out. Not all sprinkles can go. Like these right here, these bigger ones, the doughs you don't want to do. They do these funky holes in them. But these bead sprinkles seem to work really well. These gold ones, same thing. They don't work for me. All right, sprinkles go to the side, and then our macarons are gonna go to dry. So I'm gonna move you up so you can see. You want to be gentle, you don't want to bump anything, you don't want to hit anything, because they will have funky feet then. We don't want funky feet. Okay, and we go again. I'm going to try to give you a better angle on how I pipe these out. Get the sprinkle out of the way. And just like that. Now, go slow, okay? If this is your first time, I'm going to turn it so you guys can see better. I've been doing this for many years, so I'm going a little faster, but you guys go slow. So let me go slow to show you it's okay to go slow. So we're just going to let the batter, you're pushing the batter, it drops, and then you squeeze it to fill it in. So drops, squeeze it. So none of this, we're not touching. I'm going to go super slow so you guys can see. Super slow. Air bubbles happen. That's why we go slow, because then they fill in. So slow, slow like that. Okie dokie. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Close your ears, loud noise. We always scream that in the kitchen. Loud noise! Because it is, it's really loud. 2. Okay, and our sprinkles. Almond wedding cake is probably our most popular macaron flavor that we do. It's really good. I can't wait to share the recipe. So like I said, I will do all of my filling recipes in my next video. Today we are just working on our Michelles, and I will post that this week. So the filling recipe will be posted this week as well, probably a day apart. So make sure you guys are subscribed, like and comment the videos. That helps you to stay on track. If you have any questions, just shoot me a comment. I do my best to respond. Sometimes I don't see the comments right away. I don't know, YouTube is weird, but I will do my best to respond with any questions that you may have. And yeah, that's about it. All right, so let's move you back again so you see what I'm doing. Oi, okay. Okay. Gently picking this up, putting it in there. My fan is on, it's going, it's drying those. It makes everything go by so much quicker. I can't even express what a time saver this is. I should have had the time going, and I will in the next batch, and I'll show you guys. I'm going to do one color so you guys can see how I add the color, and I'm going to do snowman, so one character, so you guys can see that. So snowman, I'm going to move you down. Same batter, nothing really changed. We're just going to do the 3 dots. So I always start with my bigger dot, and then I work my way out. I do only 2 heads. It's too hard with 3. So there you go. That's my answer to that. So small little head like that. As you get towards the end, the batter will spread more. So I actually don't pound or tap, I guess the right way to say it, as much when I do the end, because the batter is already much more looser. Use a scraper to get all of that to the bottom. It just makes everything so much more easier. All done. So 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Because I'm at the end of the batter, it spreads more. I don't tap as much. We're going to do our sprinkles again. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm trying to count how many macarons, not shells, but like macarons, so 2 sets you would get out of one batter. 1, 2, 3, 4. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So about 50? Yeah, so there's roughly 5 because you have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then like, you know, about 5, give or take, which is 100 because it's 20 per sheet. You're going to divide that in half. Yes, you do a lot of math in baking. We're going to divide that in half. So you get about 50 macarons out of one of the recipes that I did. If you're piping them the same way I pipe them. Now, am I talking, just not talking to myself here? If you pipe them the same way I pipe them, you're going to get about 50. Now, if you pipe them a bit smaller, which is, you know, the traditional way, they're like yay big, and mine are more like this big. Then you would get more, obviously. So that's kind of, it depends on how big you pipe them. I'm telling you how we did them, at the tea room. That's the size we did them. This is the mats we used. We covered the whole mat, and that's about how much we got. I mean, I remember it was always about 50, 55. So that's where we're at. Out of this one batch of recipe, you guys are going to get roughly 50, 55 macarons. You always want to anticipate a few broken ones or a few lopsided ones. The list goes on. So I always say 50. 50 is a good number. Okay, let's do pistachio. Again, no editing. All I did was move the camera. So I'm gonna go put this in the dishwasher, but before I do that, I'm gonna grab my bowl. You just want to make sure it's dust free. I know a lot of times they're like, oh, you have to make sure you clean it with vinegar. What are you guys doing with your mixing bowls that you need to clean it with vinegar and almost throw it through the dishwasher and then through some other stuff? Like, normal wash and dry is plenty. I don't know. Maybe you're doing some funky stuff with your mixing bowls that I don't know about. I always thought that was kind of weird. Like, you got to clean it with vinegar and all this stuff. I'm like, what are you doing? All right, so we're doing pistachio. I still have the same whisk on, totally fine. We are going to throw in here 280 grams of egg whites, room temperature, and 280 grams of sugar, granulated sugar. Come on. There we go. Make sure you press the tare and it'll bring it to 0. That was perfect. Couldn't plan it if I wanted to. On here it goes. Timer is set for 5 minutes. Start. I'll stop it for 1 second. So I already know I have to turn my ovens on. So my ovens take about 10 minutes to preheat. I know those will be ready to go in by the time I'm done with this batter. So the oven is going on. Back to mixing. They've been mixing for about 2 minutes now, and I'm gonna add a few drops of of this. This is what I use for pistachio or any kind of green color. I like this one. I also like this brand a lot. I like this brand a lot too. So both amazing for macarons, but you definitely want to make sure it's gel. Okay, I eyeball it, people. So we're gonna do 2-3 drops and go from there. And if I like it, I'll add more. And if I think it's not pistachio enough, if I like it, I'll leave it. If I think it needs more, I'll add more. So, okay. Okay, so my mixing bowl, as you guys can sound here, it doesn't mix fast enough. I have to add it a few more minutes. I have to bring mine from home. This one's not the best. As you guys can see from previous, this one isn't as mixed. If you can see around, it's still glossy. It's not mixed in as it was the first time. So the mixing bowl, the mixer is slow. See, it's like, and it's whistling. Something's wrong with it. No! Oh well. I'm gonna add a few more drops. I don't like that color. It's not pistachio enough. I turn my ovens on at 250. So commercial oven, 250. Okay, so now it's done. And this is if you have an oven that's, or a mixer that's being weird, and you're like, this is not, you know, it's not mixed, it's fine. You want it look where it's got blotches, I guess you could say, around. And that's how you know it's mixed. So this is what we're looking for. Like it was much more glossy or much more smoother, where now I actually have some mixing blotches, patches. That's what we want to look at. Because I felt like the mixer was going slow even though it was on high. You know, that's how it goes. This is the one mixer that was being weird that I didn't sell because I know it was just being weird. But I have one at home. So the one at home, we will have it and it'll be perfect. Okay, so where's my darn? Okay. I don't have a spoon. I don't have anything. Okay, let's try this. I just want to go gently in here. No, I'm not adding any pistachios to my almond flour. I actually sprinkle pistachios a little bit on top sometimes, but then most of it has to do with the filling. My macarons, the only one that like changes is red velvet, chocolate. Obviously, we add cocoa powder. And then coffee, we add a little bit of coffee into it. But the rest, we don't add any flavoring to the macaron. It's just color. I concentrate on the flavoring in the cream. That's like my biggest concentration. My biggest. Yeah, okay. You get it. All right, same thing. We're just going to swirl it in the middle. So again, this is all I'm doing. I wanted to do a shout out while I'm doing these macarons to Julian. I think that's her name. Sweet little follower. I met her mom a couple of times. So hello, girls. She wants to be a baker, and I applaud that. At a young age, to love baking, I think it's awesome. I started baking. Ooh, I remember my first, like, I baked this and brought it to school was in 7th grade. Or was it 5th grade? Oh, I don't remember. But I know it was like in the younger grades. I think it was middle school. So no, I think it was 5th grade. But I always loved to bake. Still do. Still really enjoy it. Yes, you will get a workout. Ooh, we don't want any of it coming out, especially when it's a lot. Dump it back in. You will get a workout. If you're doing, like I would do this 20, 30 times a day. And by the end of the week, all this was hurting until I got used to it. So if I don't do it for a while, then you get used to it. If you don't do it for a while, you get used to it. But like I said, this is a huge portion, so it is much harder to mix. It takes much more strength, takes much more time. But I really wanted to show you guys our commercial, how we did it at the tea room. Okay, I have to stop for like a second or a couple minutes. I have a customer in the front. That's how it works, you guys. I'm back. No joke. It was like less than a minute because I had to tell the customer to wait because you can't walk away from this. You got to keep mixing it, put it in the bag, pipe it out, and go. You can't let it sit. You can't forget about it. None of that stuff. This is start to finish, go, 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 go kind of thing. So none of that. The only time it can sit is when it's on the racks, when it's cooling off. Otherwise, if you're having it sit, it cannot be more than a minute, 2 max. Yes. I'll be right there. Another customer. All right, and we're back. I'm by myself doing the rummage sale, trying to do this YouTube video for you guys, baking macarons for our last macaron sale for this coming up weekend. So a lot of multitasking. That's okay. Get this out of the way and then get our bag and our tip in there. Do regular macarons, I use a Wilton A or 2A. And then when I do characters, I will use, there's no size to this. Interesting. I'll have to do some research, but it is much smaller, as you guys can tell. Bag size for this particular, this is a 21-inch bag. Scissors. Oy, oy. This is so hard. Nothing is where it belongs. It's a hot mess. That's all right. Found them. We're going to cut the edge, cut it off a little bit at the end. Throw your tip inside, just like that. I do a little twist on the end and throw it in here. Again, roughly I mix about 5 minutes, but as you guys can see, my batter is not loose at all. I find it much more easier to control. I think my feet come out much better this way than if it was like very loose. Okay, just scrape all this in there. Now, if I was doing like a darker color and this would blend in fine, then I would still use this whisk. But I'm going to be doing white snowman next, so that's not going to work. All right. And get our clip on. I do wash my bags when I use them more. So this is the brand that I like to use. I'm out of it, so I use a different one, but I'm not a big fan of that one, but it's okay. This is the brand that I like to use. Yep. And I use size 21. So size 21, this brand, I get it on Amazon. I'll link it on the bottom, but these are really good and they're really good to wash. Like sometimes I will get maybe 5, even 6 batches out of one bag. So you want to save, you know, when you're doing large portions like this, it adds up. If you're changing bags, you're doing 30 a day, you know, 5 days a week, it adds up. Okie dokie, we are going back to piping. And I wanted to check on these. And I want to show you. These are dry. Like, that's it. So I made that batch. This batch is ready to go in the oven. Oven's already preheated. It's good to go. So we're going to actually wheel these. Yeah, I'll wheel these before I pipe. But again, you don't want that batter sitting more than 2 minutes max. That's it. Once it sits longer than that, you don't have beautiful feet. It makes a difference. Trust me, I know. We're going to move you. And you guys can see my hot mess of a kitchen. But that's all right. We're going to go to the oven. I'm using my bottom oven. So I'm just going to wheel my whole entire okay. Gently. You don't want to tap or anything like that. So you're going to go slow and steady. I always just double check the last ones especially. We are closing ovens and we are baking at 25 minutes. Yep, you heard me right. 25 minutes. Okay, and now we're gonna go in, work on our pistachios. So same thing, we're gonna squeeze, let it drop, and then just fill it in. I'm going slow so you guys can see. Here, I'll move it closer. There we go. I like this tip because I'm not squeezing very hard, and that doesn't hurt my muscles as much. Like sometimes when I was using the little tip for the longest time, because that's what everybody recommend, my hand would hurt from squeezing. So I find that this tip works way better. You're not squeezing as hard. Let me churn you. And I think that they come out better. Okay. Loud noise, cover your ears. Pistachio, like I said, sometimes I put pistachios on top, sometimes I don't. But for this video, I would recommend it. So for this video, I'm going to show you. So we just have some pistachios here, like this, that I went through some fresh pistachios in the Ninja. And we keep them like this, and they're fine for a while. So we're just going to sprinkle them on top. Now, when you're sprinkling something as heavy as a pistachio or cocoa powder, I don't know, a hazelnut, something, you have to give it extra time to dry. So if you are timing it, and normally your macarons dry, let's say for 10 minutes, 15 minutes under the fan, this would take, I would double it. Obviously in a commercial kitchen, we are always in a hurry, but at the same time, we always have lots of other stuff to do. So like while these are drying, I'm going to work on my dishes, and then I'm going to work on my snowman macarons, because I really want to share with you guys that as well. Why? Okay, so while those are over there drying, let me show you what they look like. So I have my fan just like that in the center going and drying them a lot quicker. I'm going to show you guys these beautiful feet that we have on here. Look at those. Perfect. No cracks. No nothing that we don't want. They have about 15 more minutes. Okay, I'm gonna go do dishes. You can sit here and watch these. Just kidding. Who wants to watch macarons bake? Unless it's on time lapse. Those videos are cool. I like those videos. Okay, it was like 1 second, so we're good. Ta-da! Gloves. Okay. This is annoying me. Look at those perfect macarons, you guys. One or two little smooshes over there, and it happens. We always count a few extra. Look at our cute little snowman. They're cuter when we do them right, I promise, which we're gonna do next. But you got your perfect little feet. I don't even bother testing them because I know this is how long we bake them for, and that's it. We've been doing this for so many years. I already know. They're gonna go in there and cool off. So they will cool off for a few hours before I fill them. Normally, we always bake them the day before. So like we would bake all of our macaron shells today, we would fill them tomorrow. They can sit on the rack, on the cooling rack, until they're completely cool off. I don't touch them for a few hours, and then we pair them, put them on sheet trays, leave them on here. We don't put them in the refrigerator or anything like that. We leave them here. So like you guys can see, I want to show you kind of like that, just like that. They're paired, ready to go, ready to get filled. They just sit like this, not filled up to a week. We always put our, so like for instance, there's one that was left, like we date it when we baked it, the name of the flavor and all that good stuff. So it is very organized, and we know what was baked. So if you're in a commercial kitchen, don't worry about, at least my recipe, I will say that. My particular recipe, our particular macarons, we never put them in the refrigerator or freezer. Usually we bake them every few days, so they're always fresh. But there's been times where one flavor didn't sell as much and it would sit on here for a week and it was fine. No more than a week. I wouldn't recommend it more than a week, but a week is totally fine. So right on here, just like that, we put on our sheets parchment paper, and on the parchment paper, they go in and they wait till they get their filling and go in the case. Now, once they're filled, they go in the refrigerator right away. We never froze ours. Some of our wholesale accounts did, and they were fine and they sold and they were great. We never froze ours. So I always recommend not to freeze them. But if you are freezing them for whatever reason, you want to go from freezer to refrigerator to table. So you never want to pull them out of the freezer, put them on the table right away. So you want to make sure you're giving yourself extra time to defrost them in the refrigerator. But that's basically it. So this is kind of how our macarons are done, how we did it. Next, we're going to go show you how I do my snowman, and I'll do even a few unicorns because that was a very popular one that we had. So I'll do a few of those, not too many. Knowing me, I'll probably do a whole bunch, but I will do unicorns, a few unicorns to show you how I did the unicorns, and I will do some snowman. So let's get to those next. We're working on unicorns and snowmen, so I just want you to watch where we're looking for inconsistency when it comes to the egg whites mixture. Not yet. Like one more minute. See, it's not working. Ah, it's slow. I don't understand. Come on, wakey, wakey. Which makes no sense because this one is new. But I've had problems with it since I bought it. So, okay, what we're looking for, this is going to be our snowman and a few unicorns that I'll show you how I do as well. Get you a good angle on how I mix. Before I was saying, your bowl doesn't have to be vinegarized or whatever the word is. It does have to be dry and clean, like dry and clean. But I don't know. I've seen people like wipe it down with vinegar and different things like that. No, I don't do that, but make sure it is very dry, especially if you're reusing it. Sometimes the water will get in places that you might have missed. Like a lot of times my water will get in there, and then when I'm churning it, when I dump it into my bag, the water will drip out. So always make sure that this part around here is dry if you just got it out of the, if you just washed it. Mixing is the same if you're doing this with a small batter amount, large amount. Mixing is the same. If your hand isn't hurting, you're not doing it right. I'm telling you guys, you feel it. Like right up here, right in here. This is where I get all my muscle workout. You want to do some strength training? Make some macaron batter. At least with your right arm. Or if you're left-handed, then with your left arm. But here too, because you're holding this tight, you're getting a workout, you guys. This definitely counts as a workout. I should log this on my watch. Just kidding. You want to press really hard so that you get it all from the sides there. On the bottom too, so press down really hard so you don't miss any of it. If you don't see your bowl when you're mixing, then you're not pressing hard enough. Beautiful. Okay, so I did find a tip that has a number because before I found one and it didn't have a number, but this time I did. And we are looking at a Wilton number 12. So that is what I use, Wilton number 12, when I do characters. Or if you want to make smaller macarons, this is a good size. Okay, so we're doing, I'm going to do snowman, and then I'll show you a couple of unicorns. But for the snowman, you need, okay, we are going to need different colors. So I'm going to do a green scarf, a red scarf, and a blue scarf, and then black for eyes. So we're going to need our handy dandy spoon here, and then just a few drops of batter in here for our eyes. Okay, so it's eyes and buttons. I forgot about that. We're gonna need a couple more. I feel like this could be quicker. But you can do any colors you want. These are just the colors I chose. And this I want to transfer right away to my my bag because you don't want it sitting. So you got to move quick. I'm just going to cut my bag and get my tip on. Again, this is a Wilton 12, right? Yep, a Wilton 12. On. And it's going in here. You should not have any dry ingredients in your bowl whatsoever. If for some reason you do, then what normally I'll do is I will put as much of it back as I can, mix it all in, and then it should be good to go. But you definitely want to make sure you're pressing hard when you are mixing with your spatula, that it all gets incorporated. Okay, let's get this mess out of the way. Royal blue, because it's pretty. Come on. We're gonna do, what's this? Leaf green? Do I want leaf green or do I want neon green? I think we'll do leaf green. It's more Christmas green. Okay. And then I said red. Super red. This is my favorite red. And then black. I'm going to start with red. Then we have our black. Might need to add more black, so we'll see. I have two blacks. I have coal black, and super black. All right. So for my scarf, I would just snip it and use this, but for my eyes and buttons, I do want a perfect circle, so I'll use a very tiny a tiny tip. So we're just gonna cut a little bit. This is gonna be for our scarves. My scissors don't want to work today. My muxer doesn't want to work today. One of those days. Well, at least the oven's working. Okay. If you don't have food coloring on your hands when you're doing a bunch of different colors, you're not cool. Just kidding. Just kidding. I always have food coloring. That's how everybody knows I was in the kitchen with a lot of colors. All right, we'll start with black. No, we won't, because we need a tip for black. Okay, we got this. I'm going to scrape all this in. Ta-da! You always have to say ta-da. Okay. Beautiful. Look at that. This is what we are looking for. No cracks, beautiful feet. This is what I'm talking about. It's gonna go here. You can tell where I was rushing a little bit, and these have the funky feet. That's okay. Like I said, we're not perfect, and that's why we always count for a few extra, but that happens. We have a few not so happy ones. That's why it's better to go slow, because that one I was rushing on because I had a customer waiting, so, but that's all right. There you go. We're gonna put these away to cool. I'm gonna shut off the oven because it's gonna take us a little while for the snowman and the unicorns, and we don't want the oven going for no reason. Back to okay, so we're gonna get a tip for our eyes and buttons. Super tiny tip. This one's like a weird name, so I don't know if you're doing Wilton, what color it is. Yeah, as I'm looking at my hands, the color, what name it is. But this is, it's like 3.5 PME. I don't know. But you want it tiny. Think of buttons and eyes. Okay. So I always make my little bottom and then the top. So bottom and then the top. Bottom. This one needs a bigger bottom. And the concept is the same. We're going to squeeze, let it drop. You're not touching with your tip your mat. You're letting the batter touch it first, and then you just fill it in. Loud noise coming through. So I got a little too close here. This is how you should do it. Don't do that because there's some that are touching and that's going to be bad. We don't want touching. I'll probably save those for the backs and then just work these as the front. So the back, you don't need a face to it, but the front you do. So we're going to do some dots. 1, 2, and then 1, 2, 3. And then our scarf. Okay, my hole is too small. Oh, but actually I like it because it gives it wiggly lines like a scarf would. I like it. It works. Oh my gosh, I forgot the nose, which is orange. What to do, what to do, what to do. Okay, I'm gonna squeeze some of that white out for the orange. Yeah, this happens. Yep, real time, real problems. You forgot your nose for your snowman. Back to it. I'm gonna move you guys closer so you can see a little bit better. I forgot some eyes. This little guy needs some eyes. So for my nose, I kind of like squeeze and then pull towards the bottom, kind of make it look like a carrot. Move you down a little bit more. And then you have the scarf. Oh, this one's a little too thin. We might have to go cut it more. Oh my gosh, this one's too thin. Oh, I can't even squeeze it out. There you go, our little snowman. And the backs of it, I'll just do plain. But I wanted to show you guys how I pipe these. And next, I will show you how I pipe unicorns. Most of the macarons are out. I did end up doing, I think, 10 flavors. So it was a busy, good day. But I wanted to show you guys, so the snowman came out. I wanted to show you the ones that we did together. Where are those? Right here. Because you see how I had some of them bunch up together. But see, this came out perfect. And they come off awesome, and then you can just fill them. Ooh, we broke one. All right, there we go. It's easier if you do it from this side, because then I broke the head off, but that's okay. But I wanted to show you these, so that's what they look like. When you have unicorns like this, just be careful taking them off. You have to be gentle because of the ears and the horns, but they came out and they're good. So these will get backs and filling and all that good stuff. So I think this was a good bake day overall. Here's our pistachio again. These are our almond ones that we did. Well, I'm going to fill them with the almond wedding cake. This is what the bottom of these sheets do to your hands. So I always have to make sure that I wash my hands all the time, constantly, especially when I'm touching the sheets, because then if I touch something else, it almost looks like there's mold on them. So I hate that, but there you go. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know it's long, but macarons take a long time, and I really wanted to show you a few different techniques, like the snowman, the unicorn, and then the different colors. So that's why this is long. Again, I will post another video of our fillings, and I will do another home macaron. This one was a commercial kitchen bake, so I will do a home one. So thank you for being here. I hope you guys learned. Again, let me know in the comments if you have any questions. I hope you like this video as well. If you do, don't forget to like the video. And if you're new and you have not subscribed, please do so you don't miss any of the other videos. Thank you for being here again. I hope you guys have a blessed day. Till next time.